What would it be like if he traveled through time and had a handsome face that attracted all his junior sisters and had a beautiful master? Wouldn't he be flying? The story begins at Wuding sect. At this moment in a building, a loud shout rang out. The one who spoke was a beautiful young deacon with willow leaf eyebrows, a wide chest, a slim waist, and a round butt. Now the reader comes forward to receive the spirit stone. Next, Lin Xuan comes forward to receive this month's spirit stone. Yes, as soon as the deacon's words fell, a voice rang out Lin Xuan's disciple Chu Hai Peak. Seeing him, the deacon nodded slightly and took out a bag, saying, "This is your spirit stone victory. Thank you, deacon." Below, after seeing Lin Xuan's appearance, countless female disciples fell into a state of infatuation. Wow, beautiful person. Who is that? So handsome? Where, who? That it's him. Wow, since when did our sect have such a handsome person? It seems like his name is Lin Xuan. Even his name is so nice. I really want to go up and talk. What good things can I say? The young man named Lin Xuan couldn't help but curl up when he heard these words. His face still appeared cold, but in his heart, he was like, ha ha ha. That's natural. To have such a handsome body after crossing over is so perfect. Hooray, fly up high. At the time, Lin Huyen received all the favors of his junior sisters. But at this moment, an impolite voice rang out. What's the use of being welcomed? It's just an intermediate stage. The person who just spoke was named Zhao Mu, peak of the nascent soul realm. Seeing the female disciples fond of Lin Xuanru, he felt extremely jealous. Lin Xuan's eyes suddenly flashed, ruining my good mood. After going down, the two met face to face. Lin Xuan growled, "Get out of the way. You're blocking the way. Good dogs don't block the way." Before Zhao Mu could react, Lin Xuan's figure suddenly flashed past. Before he could understand what was happening, he fell down and was stunned. This made Zhao Mu unable to help but be stunned. Why was the spiritual power that kid released just now so terrifying? He turned his head and shouted in disbelief, "You're only at the middle stage of the nascent soul stage, yet you dare to be so arrogant. Take advantage of my distraction and use your strength. If you don't want to die without a burial place, then quickly come apologize to me." Originally didn't want to pay attention to this guy, just wanted to teach him a lesson. Hearing the cursing sound, Lin Xuan couldn't help but wring his wrist. What bad luck. You ruined my chance to flirt with a girl. Zhao Mu saw Lin Xuan go straight outside without paying attention to him and became angry. In his hand appeared a spear that emitted extremely great spiritual power. "If you don't know how to respect your senior brother, I will teach you how to respect your elders." The male disciples beside him softly advised Zhao Mu, "He is just a middle-stage nascent soul. Let it go. It's a small collision." Zhao Mu flew up and stared at Lin Xuan. "Don't worry, I won't kill him, but I will definitely make him unable to take care of himself for half a year." As soon as the words fell, in the blink of an eye, Zhao Mu rushed forward and aimed his spear straight at Lin Xuan. "Don't you like to act cool? Then I'll let you see the gap in our strength." Boom! A world-shaking explosion rang out. The spear in Zhao Mu's hand shot out an extremely large spear energy aimed straight at Lin Xuan. Lin Xuan still seemed to not sense the impending danger. Only when the spear was about to hit him did he slowly turn his head. With a loud bang, the spear energy struck Lin Xuan, creating a huge explosion that instantly covered the place with smoke. But when the smoke cleared, Zhao Mu's eyes suddenly contracted. What is this? Why did he suddenly disappear? Since when? But as soon as he finished speaking, Lin Xuan suddenly appeared behind Zhao Mu. The corner of Lin Xuan's mouth curled up. Is this the strength of a late-stage nascent soul? Zhao Mu's face changed greatly as he turned his head and looked, his eyes constricting. Oh no! Not giving him time to react, Lin Xuan struck out with a palm. Boom! A hand carrying an extremely large spiritual power struck Zhao Mu's chest. Zhao Mu was hit by an unstoppable blow and flew back 5 meters. He coughed up a mouthful of fresh blood. Only then was he able to stand up. He looked at Lin Huyen with disbelief. What is this? That's not right. How could he have the formation realm cultivation? Lin Xuan let out a soft breath, then said playfully, "Thank you, Brother Zhao, for helping me exercise my muscles." At the same time, countless male disciples were shocked. How is this possible? Half a month ago when the elder chose his disciples, he was clearly only at the middle stage of nascent soul. How could he have broken through 2 levels in a row within half a month? The female disciples were extremely excited. Ooh, senior brother Lin is so handsome. Leisurely walking out from the place to receive spirit stones for this month's disciples, Lin Xuan secretly calculated in his mind, "It seems that the person they thought was the opposite before was not because of my poor aptitude, but because the cultivation resources are not enough." He ran straight to his master's residence and pushed open the door. He still clearly remembers talking to his master 10 days ago. Master and disciple felt that this Baiji name was indeed not very appropriate, but the name his master gave him was Baiji, a Dao name given for free. His master is also an extremely beautiful woman. I must say she is beyond words. Her breasts are SS size. Her name is Li Yuqing. Hearing his disciple ask that, he said indifferently, "What's the problem?" Lin Xuan rubbed his head. "The problem is not that big, it's just..." Before Lin Xuan could finish speaking, Li Yuqing stepped forward and lifted his chin. "On the first day of entering the sect, you dare to oppose your master." Lin Xuan's eyes stared down at the 2 extremely giant weapons. Disciple doesn't dare. Speaking of which, this master has developed enough. Pop a scream rang out. Li Yuqing knocked Lin Xuan's head and said indifferently, "You don't know how to act. How dare you stare at that place of mine?" She threw down a sword next to Lin Xuan and continued, "If that's the case, then let's decide this matter like this. This is for you." Holding the sword, Lin Xuan's eyes lit up. "Wow, what grade of magic treasure is this, master? It looks so imposing. Haha, you're talking about this. It's still a bit off from the heavenly rank." Li Yuqing angrily glared at Lam Huyen and shouted, "If you don't need it, then give it back to me. Hey! What would you not dare to accept if master gave it to you?" Hearing this, Li Yuqing's anger immediately rose to a height of 3 meters. "If you don't want it, give it back to me. Hey, master, calm down. I want it." Li Yuqing also unintentionally and helplessly said, "You brat, you escaped really quickly. By the way, what is your cultivation level now?" Lin Xuan honestly replied, "Disciple is already at the middle stage of nascent soul, so low. Ah, how embarrassing. When I was your age, I was about to ascend, haha." Hearing this, Lin Xuan asked in confusion, "You are so powerful, how come you became the weakest elder in the immortal sect?" This sentence made Li Yuqing, who was laughing heartily, suddenly stop. Seeing that his master was speechless, Lin Xuan waved his hand. "Ah yeah, I was just joking. Master, don't take it so seriously. I haven't even asked how old master is today." Bam, another punch straight to Lin Xuan's face. "Do you know how to respect your master?" Lin Xuan was immediately scared and quickly knelt down. "Then may I ask how old is master this year?" Li Yuqing waved his hand. Don't ask, it's just 18. These words made Lin Xuan a bit dizzy. His face was as blank as a cow walking on a spring. "What the hell is this? How many of these are there? My master definitely has a problem." Just heard Li Yuqing continue, "If you are my only disciple, then the task of clearing Chuhai Peak is given to you." Lin Xuan glared. "Will our Chuhai also have a time of glory?" "Oh, that's right. From now on, except for my room, all the upper levels are open to you. I have some business to attend to and will be away for a while. I will be back in half a year. If by then you can't get the first prize of the contest, then you will know who I am." Lin Xuan asked, "What if I can't get it?" But when he saw his master's appearance, Lin Xuan couldn't help but take a step back. I only saw her eyes burning with fire. She took out a whip and stared at Lin Xuan. "What, I will beat you up. Remember not to be lazy to clean up on normal days. Feed my pet too. Okay, master, take your time." Thinking of this, Lin Xuan couldn't help but feel bored. There was no guidance nor any teachings. How could I have won first place in the competition? Who told me to worship an elder who is known as the weakest immortal sect, but is so unreliable? "Oh well, whatever you say. Then cultivation is the way of the king." But as soon as he entered his master's residence, Lin Xuan was stunned. "Why is this? The concentration of spiritual qi here is so high. Has master been here all these years? In such a good place of cultivation, the master's cultivation is still so low. What a waste of heaven's gift. If it were me cultivating in this small world, dare not say transcend tribulation and ascension, at least reach formation realm cultivation. But the master actually has such a peerless treasure. Could it be that her identity is actually the illegitimate daughter of some peerless power?" Thinking of him when he failed to win first place, his master pressed him down. "Although my strength is not strong, but with this background, as long as you serve me comfortably, then..." Thinking of this, the saliva in Lin Xuan's mouth couldn't help but fall out. "Then wouldn't I be able to save thousands of years of struggle directly? Go to the peak of life, ha 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 ha." But just at this moment, a voice rang out behind him. "Finally, someone's here." Lin Xuan startled and turned around to look. "Oh my god, there's actually someone here." The person speaking was a young girl. Seeing Lin Xuan, her eyes narrowed in a smile. "Wow, what a handsome guy." Seeing the little girl, Lin Xuan's mouth wide open. "Oh my god, could this be my master's illegitimate daughter? Oh no, my dream of hugging a rich woman's thigh is shattered." His whole inner world seemed to shatter. He couldn't help but shed tears. "Oh, master, already has a child. Looks like I don't have a chance." But at this moment, the young girl ran slowly to Lin Xuan and softly asked, "Are you the eldest disciple that the Lord has accepted?" "Let me introduce myself. My name is Yu Rong the Willow Tree. That is my essence. Since the moment I was born, I have been here." Lin Xuan asked doubtfully, "Are you the only one here?" Yu Rong shook her head. "No, besides me, there's also Xuanran's sister." Hearing older sister Lin Xuan immediately thought of her breasts are not as good as her master's, but they must be SS right. Thinking of that, he clasped his hands elegantly. "If that's the case, I hope you two will take care of me in the future." Yu Rong immediately waved his hand. No, you are the Lord's disciple, and I am just a spirit tree that the Lord casually picked up that year." Yu Rong said, then stepped forward and pulled Lin Xuan's hand. "Come follow me, I will introduce you to Xuanran's sister." Running to an old tree, Yu Rong softly said, "Here we are, this is the place." Sister Zennan, wake up. Heard a strange sound, a slightly sleepy sound rang out. So noisy has it been 50 years already. What appeared was a little lolly whose body was not much different from Yu Rong's. It was just that his white hair looked more gentle. Yu Rong saw the person who just appeared and immediately rushed over. "No, the Lord has accepted a disciple." The girl named Xuan ran, heard, and couldn't help but cover her mouth. "Where do you need me to welcome him?" Yu Rong pointed at Lin Xuan and introduced. "Here there's no need to go anywhere. Lord's disciple has arrived." Seeing Lin Xuan, the white-haired little girl immediately bowed her head. Xuan ran greetings to the Lord. After a while of chatting, Lin Xuan was surprised and asked again, "You said that eating one fruit you produced can be equal to 100 years of my cultivation." Xuan Ran nodded slightly, holding the pear in her hand, and said, "That's right. For your cultivation, as long as you don't have the spiritual energy in this fruit explode and successfully refine it, it can be at least 100 years. The spiritual power contained in this fruit is like heaven and earth compared to the cultivation level enhancing elixir that the sect previously gave to its disciples. So when can I eat this?" "This, I don't know either, but wait until after the Lord returns with her as his protector. No matter how much you eat, you won't explode to death." Hearing this, Lin Xuan's saliva fell and her cheeks turned red. "That's great. Oh right, there are other medicinal treasures in here that can improve cultivation, right?" Yurong listened to the question and thought for a moment before answering, "I don't know about this either, but you can drink the water in here. It can help you cultivate faster." Lin Huyan saw her 2 feet splashing in the water and her head was full of sweat. This seems to be the water for washing your feet." Yurong covered his mouth and chuckled. Then he explained, "But sir, you mentioned something called spirit liquid. I don't know the details." Lin Xuan's mind was dizzy. "Oh my god, spirit liquid. This is too extravagant." He secretly calculated the value of a drop of spirit liquid is equal to 30 high-grade spirit stones. The salary of an inner sect disciple is only 100 high-grade spirit stones. This time, no matter how I calculate it, I've made a profit. He immediately took off his cloak and threw it aside. The water here seems to be impossible not to drink. After saying that, he didn't wait for the 2 girls to react. He jumped into the lake and bathed first. It's really comfortable. Do you want to bathe together?" Seeing Lin Xuan's appearance, Xuanran whispered, "Sk, tisk. Why does it feel like this disciple of yours has never experienced anything before?" "That's right, Sister Xuan. Ren, why did the Great Lord suddenly accept disciples?" "Well, if you hadn't said anything, I wouldn't have noticed. You've been alone for so many years. Why does she suddenly want to accept disciples? Tell me, is it possible that the Lord has fallen in love with a mortal?" At the same time, in Yuanjue realm, in the endless void, a flash of light appeared in the transmission array. The person who appeared was Li Yuqing, but had changed into a different outfit. As soon as they saw her appear in this great hall, countless people bowed their heads and knelt on the ground, simultaneously shouted, "Welcome the Lord's arrival." Li Yuqing looked at the people inside, who sat on the throne without paying any attention to anyone. She asked indifferently, "What exactly is the matter?" Stepping forward was an old man who respectfully said, "Your Majesty, you have finally arrived." Li Yuqing waved her hand. "Don't be polite, tell me quickly, what exactly is the matter?" The old man immediately replied, "These past few years, the Emperor Lu Yu has been sent to investigate the depths of the Taichi Emperor's lair. He has not returned yet. There is no other way but to refine the divine stone that the person left behind that year." Hearing this, Li Yuqing angrily slapped the armrest of the chair. "What a waste! Is that a place where humans can go? Why is no one stopping him?" The old man saw Li Yuqing so angry and quickly knelt down trembling as he said, "What kind of person is Emperor Lu Wu? How can we stop him?" Li Yuqing said in a low voice, "Do you want me to go deep into the palace to find him?" The old man stammered. "This time Emperor Lu Yu's life and death are unknown. We just hope that the Emperor can guard this place to prevent other realms from violating it." Li Yuqing stood up. "It doesn't matter, I don't have time to keep this wasteland forever." The old man still wanted to say something, but was interrupted by Li Yuqing. "But since you're here, then just say it. Who took advantage of the time Lu Yu wasn't here to commit the crime? Let's go kill him now." At the same time, Lin Xuan was still happily cultivating in the spirit liquid. As soon as he performed the technique, he felt the aura in his body gradually rise. The spiritual energy was like a giant dragon that continuously penetrated his body. "It feels so refreshing. It's like endless energy is rushing into my body." Until Lin Xuan woke up in cultivation. In the blink of an eye, 3 days had passed. The young lady Yurong sat on the shore staring below. "Why, it's been 3 days. Why hasn't there been any movement? Could it be that he drowned?" At this moment, a wave of water rushed up, making her jump. The one who appeared was handsome, Lin Xuan with 6 packs. "Humph, it's only been a few days since we last met. Do you miss me already?" Yurong said in disbelief. "I thought with your aptitude you would have drowned long ago." These words were like a sharp knife stabbing straight into Lin Xuan's heart. How hateful! Why don't you believe me like that? "Yes, there is one more thing. Such precious spiritual liquid is already ruined by you using it to soak your feet." Yurong covered her mouth and laughed. "Haha, it's okay, I've been playing like this for so many years." Lin Xuan was stunned how many years have passed. "Could this be the legendary infinite spiritual liquid?" Yurong added. "Master said before that the water in this lake is for us to use. It won't run out anyway." Stepping ashore, Lin Xuan pondered, if the spirit liquid in this lake is so magical, there are still Lolitas who know how to enjoy it. So if you eat the fruit here, can you directly become a god? Thinking of that, Lin Xuan's mouth corners twitched. His 2 pairs of eyes narrowed like a thief. Hurriedly spoke up, "Tell me, if I pick a fruit up here, will she wake up?" Yurong shook her head. No, those fruits aren't worth any money, Sister Xuanran, although she loves to sleep isn't stingy. Lin Xuan's eyes lit up. That's great. If that's the case, I'll pick 2 fruits, so nothing will happen, right? While I'm at it, let's check how much this Spirit Lake liquid will increase my power, Lin Xuan said and jumped onto the tree without hesitation. But Xiaoran was still lying in a sweet dream. When he landed, he had another pear in his hand. Oh my, so light. I didn't expect that the spiritual liquid would be so beneficial to my cultivation. If I eat real fruit now, my power will definitely increase. But the disadvantage is that if I don't, I will definitely explode and die. Forget it. Forget it. Leave it as a trump card, so that if you encounter a calamity later, eat it and find a glimmer of hope to live. Seeing that Lin Xuan did not eat the fruit but put it away, Yurong beside him clapped his hands and cheered. Good, very good. I really did not see wrongly. I knew you would definitely not eat fruit, just to improve your cultivation a bit. On this side also passed 3 days in the Emperor Fall. Deep inside is danger all around. Please, Emperor, think again. Li Yuqing heard these words and said indifferently, You guys just stay here and wait for me. After saying that, she slowly entered the inside herself. You dare to charge in alone? It seems you really have some ability to break our barrier. A faint sound rang out. At the end of the road, a middle-aged man sat on a throne and looked at Li Yuqing, saying, It seems that I really underestimated you, little girl. Li Yuqing stared at the middle-aged man and growled, Where is Lu Yu? Middle-aged man replied, I don't know about this. But he snapped his fingers. Appearing beside him were 1 or 2 young men. The middle-aged man continued, It's very difficult for our land of the emperors to have a character come here, and we can't let you go empty-handed. We must give you a meeting gift. Come compete with our emperors here. Li Yuqing's mouth corners curled up. If that's the case, then just come here. The middle-aged man walked straight down, pointed at Li Yuqing, and shouted loudly, Let me see what your cultivation level is like. Then, the 3 of them simultaneously attacked. Seeing him attack, Li Yuqing did not hesitate and waved her hand, releasing countless Taoist seals. Form a protective shield to block those attacks. Gently block the attack, Li Yuqing said indifferently. The people of the desolate land only have this little bit of strength, so next it's my turn to show my incompetence. At the same time, Lin Xuan was still cultivating in his master's space. Feeling his spiritual power continuously increasing, he happily laughed out loud. It's increased quite a bit again. At the same time, Lin Xuan was still cultivating in his master's space. Feeling his spiritual power continuously increasing, he happily laughed out loud. It's increased quite a bit again, yeah? Yurong beside him asked confusedly, Yeah, what is it? Lin Xuan smiled. Nothing. Nothing. Ha ha ha. Although the cultivation speed this time is faster than before, the breakthrough to the realm is much slower. Yurong explained. Sister Xuanran said that because the amount of spiritual liquid that cleared the meridians was blocked in your body, the spiritual power that had been accumulating in your body before suddenly erupted. But she also said that my meridians were very strange before, and even had 2 points. So the fact that you can cultivate is already a very good talent, haha. Lin Xuan sighed. Really, it seems that the specific situation will have to wait until Master returns to ask him thoroughly. But then again, where did she go? His master was now slowly walking towards the #1 expert of the desolate land. The other guy was now lying in a heap, breathing in less and breathing out more. One of his eyes had also been gouged out by her. Pointing his sword at his head, Li Yuqing said, It seems that the immortals of the desolate land are all like this. Just at this moment, a girl ran from outside. Father, are you okay? Seeing her coming, the middle-aged man was scared and shouted loudly, Wuang, go away. The girl who just arrived and saw Li Yuqing beating her father into this state couldn't help but shoot her teeth and say, Damn witch. You dared to hurt my father, you witch. Today I must kill you. If you don't die today, I will kill you. Li Yuqing glanced at the girl and couldn't help but exclaim, What a big tone. In a flash, the girl held her sword and rushed straight towards Li Yuqing. But she just reached out and caught the new girl's wrist. Not bad. Pretty fast speed. Just a little off target. The light hand used spiritual power to transmit to the girl's arm. The girl could not help but scream miserably. The middle-aged man saw this scene and couldn't help but cry out, Wuang. In less than 2 breaths, the girl fainted at Li Yuqing's feet. Only then did Li Yuqing look at the middle-aged man and say indifferently, It seems that your daughter has inherited your ignorance. Okay, wait until you tell me Lu Yu's whereabouts. Then I will return her to you. After saying that, Li Yuqing's hand pointed out a ball of light that covered the girl. In the blink of an eye, the 2 people disappeared from this place under the helplessness of the middle-aged man. Waiting for a long time without seeing the master return, Lin Xuan once again left the place of cultivation and went to Liantian Peak. Seeing him appear, the people here began to talk excitedly. Oh, it's him. Look, he's senior brother Lin, who defeated Zhao Mu last time at the sect. I didn't expect him to keep hiding his true strength. I thought he could become an inner sect disciple just because he had a handsome face. How is this possible? Elder Li is one of the 3 sect masters. How could she accept such a shallow disciple? Hearing the gossip, Lin Xuan kept looking up to the sky, his face showing great satisfaction. Lin Xuan just went straight to the main hall of Liantian Peak, where many people had gathered, and an elder was sitting on a high platform giving a speech. As soon as Lin Xuan entered, several disciples sitting here raised their heads in attention. The old man said in a low voice. What are you looking at? Is there anything worth seeing? Are you all steady on the chi refining method I just taught you? Just arrived Lin Xuan couldn't help but scratch his head after hearing, wow, you look so serious. Just at this moment, the old man asked in a low voice, young man, are you here to learn the method of alchemy? Come sign up. By the way, let's talk about your family situation. As for why Lin Xuan came here, he had to remember what Yu Rong said. That's right, sir. These past few days while you were cultivating, someone came to find you and told you to go learn that method of refining qi. Lin Xuan swallowed hard, so this is the place Yu Rong was talking about. Thinking of this, Lin Xuan clasped his hands. Disciple Lin Xuan family in the Nanyang dynasty of the secular world. Family located in a region with approximately 1,000 acres of land. The elder was speechless. Enough. No need to talk about fields anymore, refining tools or refining pills. What do you want to learn? Lin Xuan's eyes lit up. Disciples all learn. But this word made the whole room go into an uproar. The disciples here couldn't help but laugh. A primary stage deity wants to learn refining tools and refining pills at the same time. He really thinks he's a genius. The elder also slowly walked over to assess Lin Xuan and nodded slightly. Your aptitude is not bad. Maybe you can master 2 paths. Hold out your hand so this old man can see your attributes. You have a very strong fire attribute. Not bad. Oh no, there is also a wood attribute. You can still choose refining pills now. If you specialize in refining pills in the future, I will ask Lian Tian, Peak Lord, to teach you. It's not impossible. Lin Xuan nodded slightly. Thank you for your love, elder. Wait a minute, he even has a metal attribute, spiritual root, that isn't weak. Could it be that he can really master 2 paths? Hearing this, the surrounding disciples were extremely surprised. Elder Lu Jiang, are you seeing things? That's right. People with 3 spiritual root attributes are all extraordinary talents. How could they only be at the early stage of the divine transformation after entering the sect for more than 10 years? Damn it, he's handsome and has 3 spiritual root attributes at the same time. Can he still let other people live? Elder Lu Jiang glared at his disciples. Are you doubting me? Disciple does not dare. Disciple is just afraid that the old man will see wrongly, making junior brother Lin spend too much time learning 2 heart methods, delaying junior brother Lin's cultivation. The elder glanced at his disciples. Stop doing useless things. These things of yours are all leftovers for us. I, the old man, tricked my fellow disciples before, so that you wouldn't even be born yet. Lin Xuan's eyes flashed. It seemed that this path was really a bit bewildering. I only heard the elder say, if you have this aptitude and stay at Chuhai Peak forever, I'm afraid your talent will fade away. Lin Xuan was stunned. Before he could ask, the elder spoke again. Now I will go and tell the sect leader to ask you to become my personal disciple. At the same time, you will join my sect. If so, the sect will provide all the resources you need. What do you think? The disciples under him were struck by lightning. Master's face turned gloomy. Master doesn't want to show off, does he? Sure enough, Elder Lu Jiang stared at Lin Xuan, then winked and flashed an adorable look. What's up, kid? Interested? His disciples were now sweating profusely and asked, Hey master, are you digging someone else's corner again? Lin Xuan's face at this moment also became extremely colourful. What? Why is there such an old man? Does he have some strange hobby for a man who discharges electricity? Thinking of this, he immediately waved his hand. No, my master has helped me. I cannot leave you alone. Thank you, Elder Lu Jiang, for your kindness. Lin Xuan's words angered those disciples. This kid rejected the elder. He's too unreasonable. Elder Lu Jiang said in a low voice. Brat, do you know that your master is the weakest elder in the sect? Lin Xuan firmly nodded. I know. You must know that with her cultivation level, she cannot bring out your talent to its fullest extent. In the end, she will only let you down. It's been so many years. Rarely have I met a genius like you. I don't hope you will be forgotten again. Lin Xuan still shook his head. Elder Lu Jiang, I have made up my mind. I hope Elder will not make things difficult. Elder Lu Jiang closed his eyes and let out a sigh. Okay, if that's the case, then I won't force you anymore. It'll be too late for you to regret it later anyway. That's right, I almost forgot that you came here. This is the furnace and alchemy furnace I used 50 years ago. Although the grade is not high, it is enough for you to use now. Giving the item to Lin Xuan Brainhead Lu, Jiang patted him on the shoulder. Keep it well. You can take these mental methods of refining things and see, I still have work to do. You should think about the matter of the personal disciple again. After saying that, in a blink of an eye, the elder disappeared, leaving Lin Xuan alone. No, there are also those disciples who are staring at him with eyes like hungry wolves. Lin Xuan's mouth corners twitched. What do you senior brothers want to take, my alchemy furnace? Although very angry, the disciples still laughed and said, Haha, junior brother thinks too much. We are all disciples of the immortal sect. We are so happy for you. How can we fight over your things? But what Lin Xuan did next made those guys grit their teeth in anger. Do you know how to respect your teachers and elder brothers? We're talking, what are you doing, and where did you get this torn bag? Lin Xuan still shamelessly put the things in his bag and carried them away. Junior brother, listen, senior brother is too kind. Then I also wish senior brother a bright future and strive to have 3 attribute spiritual roots. Soon junior brother has something to do. I won't bother you guys cultivating anymore. Bye-bye. At the same time, in the main hall of the Wuding sect, there was a sound of arguing. A genius disciple like Lin Xuan should have been taken away by Li Yuqing, right? Isn't this delaying someone else's child? Aren't you right? Hearing Elder Lu Jiang's dissatisfied voice, the sect master took a sip of tea and advised Elder Lu Jiang, "There's no need to be like this. I've heard about his situation. Isn't this the early stage of Formation Realm, hiding 2 levels of cultivation? There aren't many disciples like this, but there's no shortage of us." The 6th elder waved his hand. "What is this?" "This is a rare talent that is hard to come by in 1,000 years. Just now Lin Xuan went to Liantian Peak. I probed his spiritual root. It has 3 attributes, firewood and metal, and the fire attribute is extremely strong. Let's not talk about his cultivation speed. He was born an excellent alchemist." These words made the sect master change his expression. "Are you telling the truth? If what Lu Jianglao said is true, then Lin Xuan is truly the most outstanding genius of Wuding Immortal Sect in the past 1,000 years. This kid has never made a big mistake in these years. He is also exceptionally talented. If I accept him as my personal disciple, I might be able to convince them." Bang! Elder Lu Jiang unceremoniously knocked him on the head. "Keep dreaming. If it was really easy for you to say such a good thing, would this old man still give it to you? That kid said Elder Li owed him a favor. He absolutely would not join the sect of others. Then let's go to Chuhai Peak to talk to Elder Li." Lin Xuan had just returned to Chuhai Peak when Elder Lu Jiang and the sect master chased after him. Lin Xuan stopped. Lin Xuan turned around and saw that it was Elder Lu Jiang and couldn't help but be surprised. They chased all the way here. However, he still did not hesitate to clasp his hands together. Disciple greets the sect leader. Elder Lu Jiang. Lin Xuan. "Right. Where is your master? I want to find her to discuss the matter of you being accepted into the sect." Lin Xuan respectfully replied, "Sect master, if you came for this matter, then please leave. I have entered Chuhai Peak, and in this life, I am also a person of Chuhai Peak. If I joined the sect master's sect just for a little profit, I think my achievements in this life would not be much higher than now." On the one hand, he was righteous, but Lin Xuan was thinking to himself, no matter if it's because of the beautiful master or because of the resources, I can't leave Chuhai Peak in this life. Every day I have endless spiritual liquid, isn't it great to soak in it? Hearing this, the sect master couldn't help but stroke his beard and laugh loudly. "Ha ha ha, not bad, not bad. If you pursue fame and fortune, no matter how good your talent is, I won't let you become my personal disciple. But now, it seems that I like you." Lin Xuan was stunned. "Sect master, I think you misunderstood. What I said was not a response to your experiment, but the truth. I have decided, please don't force me." Lin Xuan said that the sect master sighed softly. "He's okay." But Elder Lu Jiang next to him pulled the strings. "I told you, but you still don't believe me. This kid is so stubborn." The sect master sighed. Who knew he was so stubborn? Going inside, Lin Xuan started to try to refine pills. "Oh, it seems that refining pills is not very difficult." As he spoke, he picked up a handful of grass beside him, then put all into the alchemy furnace. "Follow the heart method. The refining rate must be 100%. But as soon as he said it, there was a loud explosion. The explosion made Lin Xuan dizzy and fainted on the spot. Yu Rong, who was on the side, was also caught in the crossfire. She couldn't help but cough. Lin Xuan helplessly stood up, unable to help but say, "There probably aren't any formula pills. Otherwise, perhaps it would be possible to refine finished pills." But unexpectedly, the medicinal properties of the 2 weeds I conveniently caught were so great. Yu Rong reminded, "If you don't want to die, don't use this broken furnace to refine herbs here." The loud explosion woke. Xuan ran up. She couldn't help but cover her mouth and laugh. "Ha ha ha! For so many years, my lord. You are the only disciple I have. I don't want you and this furnace to explode to death. Do you know that every blade of grass here is a natural treasure of a level far surpassing that outside? If you really want to use this furnace to refine pills, you'll have to go somewhere else to find herbs." Lin Xuan coughed dryly, cough, cough. "So it turns out the grade of this furnace is not worthy of medicinal herbs." A few days later at the Liantian Peak Palace, Lin Xuan came here again. As soon as he saw him, Chief Lu Jiang smiled and said, "With your talent, I like to think that you have successfully refined the vein protection pill, right? Bring it here so I can see the finished product." Lin Xuan respectfully took out a jade bottle and said, "Yes, Elder Lu Jiang. This foolish disciple has wasted quite a few precious medicinal herbs." Elder Lu Jiang took out a pill and looked at it. His eyes couldn't help but shrink. Only 1 pill. Lin Xuan heard that and sighed in his heart haze. "I originally wanted to act modestly, but..." Before he could say anything, an impolite voice rang out from outside. "Did you only refine 1 pill?" Hearing the sound, Lu Jiang the brain chief said in a deep voice, "Changqing, don't be rude." But this young man named Changqing still refused to listen to his master. He said indifferently, "It's fine. Perhaps the difficulty of refining medicinal pills is still too high for you right now. Junior brother, it's better to do your best." Lin Huyan turned to look at him in confusion. "Huh, when did I say there was only 1 pill?" he said and waved his hand, and nearly 10 pills appeared in his hand. This made Changqing's expression change. How is this possible? You are definitely cheating. Just spend spirit stones at the sect market to buy spirit pills. Anyone can do this." Elder Lu Jiang said in a low voice. Don't lose face anymore, but Changqing still wanted to say something. Elder Lu Jiang continued, this vein protection pill contains 3 types of attributes. Ask the entire Wuding sect, besides Lin Xuan, who else can have 3 spirit root attributes. These words made the other disciples shut their mouths. But Changqing still did not accept it, even though that was what he said. This disciple still hoped that the elder would investigate clearly, because how could this color come from Lin Xuan's hand? He had only been cultivating alchemy for a month. Elder Lu Jiang's face darkened. Have you finished speaking? Is there anything else you want to add? Do you want me to crush a protective pill and show it to everyone, Lin Xuyen? Lin Xuan heard that and smiled. The medicinal ingredients to refine vein protection. Pills were originally given by the elder. Of course, there's no problem. Elder Lu Jiang heard this and waved his hand. A pill appeared in his hand. Then he crushed it with force. A glimpse of the essence from within. Elder Lu Jiang stared at these essences without saying anything, while the disciples below were wide-eyed and open-mouthed. How is this possible? Only then did Elder Lu Jiang speak in a low voice. Changqing, do you believe me this time? Starting tomorrow you don't need to come to Liantian Peak anymore. Changqing immediately panicked because his jealousy had cost him the opportunity to come to this place. His face immediately changed and he begged, Disciple knows his mistake. I hope the elder will forgive me. Please forgive me. Elder Lu Jiang indifferently said, a narrow-minded person cannot accommodate others. This kind of mentality will definitely encounter obstacles and at worst it will endanger one's life. Changqing heard these words and knew what he had to do. He immediately knelt down in front of Lin Xuan and said, I beg you, junior brother, I hope you plead with the elders. In the future, I will definitely listen to you. Lin Xuan waved his hand. Sorry, I don't need someone like you. Lin Xuan's words made Changqing's face darken a bit and his eyes flashed with cold light. Lin Xuan took the pill back into his body and spoke again. Elder, then today, this disciple will take his leave first. Just as I got back to my master's place, I heard her voice, You wrong Xuan, ran I'm back. Seeing that his master was also bringing a beautiful young woman, Lin Xuan hurriedly approached and said softly, Master, didn't you say you would come back in half a year? Why so soon? Li Yuqing smiled faintly. I originally thought it would take a long time. I just didn't expect the other party to be so weak. If we finish early, of course, we'll return early. The young girl behind heard this and spoke up unconvinced. If you hadn't taken advantage of my father's distraction to sneak attack him even if you were a fairy. Before she could finish speaking, an invisible hand grabbed her throat, preventing her from speaking any further. In her head, Li Yuqing's voice rang out, I will not only seal all of your cultivation, but also set up a restriction. Everything that happens cannot be said to the outside. If you don't believe it, you can continue to try. Lin Xuan heard half of it and saw her stop and stare at her in confusion. Hey, are you okay? Hearing those words, the girl turned her head and glared at Lin Xuan. Unexpectedly, with your status, you still received such a useless disciple in this place. Her words made Lin Xuan so angry that he rolled up his sleeves and wanted to rush forward. Although your cultivation is stronger than mine, what you said is too much. Does a tiger that doesn't show its power really think I'm a kitty cat? Li Yuqing saw that the two were about to have a conflict and said in a low voice, All right, you two stop arguing. Let me introduce her name is Wu Ang. She is a maid at Chu Hai Peak Leave, the cleaning and pruning of flowers and plants to her. Even though she is just a servant, you cannot beat and insult her when you have nothing to do. You cannot sneak into her room in the middle of the night and do such beastly things. I don't want to have to raise your child next year. Hearing this, Lin Xuan couldn't help but feel confused. Why do I feel like Master is saying the opposite? But how did this girl provoke her master to make him who was originally gentle and dignified resort to such despicable methods? Lam Huyan's words made Wu Ang extremely surprised. She is gentle and dignified. Are you sure? But what do you want to do? If you insult me like that, my father will not forgive you. Li Yuqing heard this and let out a soft humph. Her eyes flashed as she signaled to Lin Xuan. Having been with his master for a long time, Lin Xuan immediately understood, his hand stretched out in the shape of an OK letter. Okay, if master says next year is not possible, then next year is okay. Li Yuqing patted his disciple's shoulder and nodded. Okay, you can teach him. Chu Hai Peak has few people now. The responsibility of its revival is on you. And so under Wu Anglin Xuanru's eyes, he was a despicable old pervert next door. Master, don't worry, you can leave everything to me, he. All right, prepare a bit. We'll deal with her tonight, okay, master? These two people's words made Wu Ang tremble with fear. You guys... Lin Xuan saw her like that and walked over softly saying, Master, she seems to be about to cry. Let's not scare her anymore. Huh, do I look like the type of person who jokes around? Are you serious? Wu Ang could no longer bear it anymore and knelt down on the ground to beg for forgiveness. I know my mistake. During this period of time, I will definitely not have any negative thoughts. I will also not proactively contact my father. Only then did Li Yuqing feel a little satisfied. Are you sure you won't let her let you strengthen your family bloodline? It'll help you continue the next generation. Lin Xuan scratched his head. Or forget it. The most important thing now is to cultivate well. Otherwise it would be a mistake to the master and the resources the master gave. Li Yuqing nodded slightly. All right, let's not talk about this anymore. This time I've prepared a good gift for you. But just after speaking halfway, Li Yuqing's expression darkened. Seeing his master's bad complexion, Lin Xuan hurriedly went to his master and asked Master what's wrong. Li Qingqing's whole body trembled, but she still took out a bracelet and brought it in front of Lin Xuan. I'm fine, this is for you, this will help your cultivation. After saying that, she turned around and left. Lin Xuan was stunned. That master, didn't you tell me how to use this? Li Hutin said softly, let her tell you. Seeing his master disappear in a flash, Lin Xuan couldn't help but be surprised. If you didn't say anything, why are you still angry? Li Yuqing couldn't help but cough after returning to her room. Looking at the blood on her hand, she felt helpless in her heart. It seems like I was a bit careless before the fight last time. At the same time outside, Lin Xuan brought the jade bracelet in front of Wu Ang and asked, hey, help me see what this is. But Wu Ang's expression changed at this moment. She shouted in a deep voice, you little worm, you dare to disrespect me. I will make your soul disappear. As long as the demoness is not here, killing you will be easy. But before she could make a move, she suddenly felt something strange in her body. The palm that she slapped on Lin Xuan's chest was just a slap that an ordinary person without any cultivation level could strike out. Lin Xuan was first stunned, then laughed out loud. What are you doing? Even if you wanted to please me, you shouldn't be punching my back. What do you mean by patting my chest? Moreover, you look like you haven't eaten yet. Don't you know that punching the back requires a little strength? Wu Ang's whole body was shaking with anger. No, he was so scared that he was trembling. He quickly knelt down on the ground. I was wrong. I won't dare to do it again. This made Lin Xuan stunned. What do you mean? Are you okay? Wu Ang stared at Lin Xuan and asked, who are you to her? She gave you this precious treasure. Lin Xuan asked suspiciously, are you stupid? Didn't you see me calling her master before? Speak something! Are you mute? You're the one who's mute. Do you think I don't want to speak? If it weren't for that damn prohibition, you would have been killed 1,000 times by me already. Looking at Lin Xuan fumbling with the bracelet in his hand, Wu Ang was speechless, this idiot. Even if he obtained such a treasure, he still didn't know how to use it. I wonder what Li Yuqing has in this circle. Let me use my internal energy to transform into spirit and see, she said, and then her hands formed a seal and put her spiritual power into the bracelet. In the blink of an eye, her consciousness appeared in another space. Looking at the surroundings, Wu Ang couldn't help but be surprised. There's actually such a rich force of extreme harmony within here. If used to break through to the immortal emperor realm, this is truly the best place to cultivate in seclusion. But when her divine consciousness sank into the ring's space, Lin Xuan outside only saw her faint in front of him. He hurriedly ran over and shouted, hey, wake up, wake up! Why did your eyes suddenly become lifeless? You have to hold on. Why aren't you awake yet? Was my move too light? Wu Ang woke up after being tortured like this. Is this still light? If it was a little heavier, I would have ascended to heaven. Don't call me hey, I have a name and age. What's your name? Lin Xuan asked doubtfully. My name is Wu Ang. Puffed! Ha ha! What a strange name! Lin Xuan couldn't help but cover his mouth and laugh. Hearing this, Wu Ang was a little angry. You were really pretending to be stupid earlier. If you recognize this young lady, why don't you kneel down for me? Lin Xuan was speechless. I just unintentionally thought of phonetics from my previous life. How did I get to know you? This is a misunderstanding. Is it okay to just have a misunderstanding? By the way, you still haven't said what the function of that bracelet is. Wu Ang reluctantly explained. To put it simply, if you cultivate in there, it means you have twice the time compared to other people. Hearing this, Lin Xuan couldn't help but look down at the bracelet in surprise. Is it that terrifying? If this effect is real, then aren't I going against the heavens? Wu Ang's mouth corners twitched, looking at your foolish, unseen appearance. Why would Li Yuqing accept you? So what if a few people have seen the world? Aren't they staying at Chuhai Peak to do menial work now? But I see that you have quite a good understanding. Then this great master will reward you. Tell me the name of the elixir and its properties. Wu Ang was so angry that his whole body was shaking. What kind of reward is this? Lin Xuan still didn't know the discomfort in her heart. At this moment, he was narcissistic. Anyway, a weak master like this is not suitable to teach me these things for a long time. Wu Ang's face darkened. Is she weak? Not paying any attention to her, Lin Xuan called you wrong to pat the little girl's head. I have to go into seclusion to cultivate during this period of time. Please tell your master. At the same time, in the Hall of the Fallen Empire, Wu Ang's parents were currently looking heartbroken. Your Majesty, are we really going to ignore Ngang Er? The middle-aged man reluctantly said anger was taken away. I am also extremely heartbroken, but that demoness alone monopolized the 3 former emperors and even forced us to retreat. At that time, if I try to stop her, I will die in the hands of that demoness. If I die, the Holy Crow clan will definitely fail and will even be destroyed by others, just like the Dragon clan in ancient times. Wu Ang's mother cried, my poor Anger. The middle-aged man comforted her. Don't worry, when the time comes, I will definitely save Anger. Time flew by. In the blink of an eye, Lin Xuan had already spent a month in seclusion within his spatial ring. Only now did he emerge. As soon as he walked out, he was extremely excited. It seems that girl really didn't lie to me. After entering cultivation, she really improved a lot. But when he saw the person in front of him, he couldn't help but be stunned. Hey, when did Master come back? Disciple greets Master, Li Yuqing said indifferently. Just came out of customs and saw us grilling meat. Consider it your lucky day. Lin Xuan ran over with a face full of excitement. Wow, master, you actually have such a big piece of meat. If you're here, then I'll leave it to you. Next, hurry up and grill this. Lin Xuan immediately received the order the meat master took out is of course of good quality. Then he performed a salt sprinkling scene he learned in his previous life, causing Yu Rong's eyes to light up. Ah, the meat is so fragrant. Is it done yet, sir? Can we eat it yet? Lin Xuan picked up a large skewer of meat and put it in his mouth. He let me taste to see if the meat is cooked. Yet this made Yu Rong beside him dissatisfied. Ah, sir, you are so naughty. Yu Rong also wants to eat. But as soon as he put the piece of meat in his mouth, Lin Xuan's eyes suddenly contracted, because he felt the extremely dense spiritual energy in this meat, making his whole body tremble. What kind of meat is this? Lin Xuan could not bear the spiritual energy inside the piece of meat and fell to the ground, rolling around and struggling. Yu Rong immediately shouted loudly, "Brother Lin Xuan, are you okay, sir? Come here quickly." Li Yuqing slowly walked over, stretched out 2 fingers, and pointed at Lin Xuan's celestial spirit. She poured her spiritual power into him to clear his meridians. After a while, he slowly woke up. Lin Xuan was still scared. Fortunately, Master intervened in time, otherwise I would have really been blown to death by this spiritual energy. What kind of meat is this, Master? Why did I just... Li Ting smiled faintly, then walked to the grill and picked up a skewer of meat. This is true dragon flesh. True dragons possess the ancestral dragon bloodline. Every true dragon is a renowned expert in the heavens, possessing extremely formidable power. Lin Xuan was a little confused. Are all true dragons powerful and famous? Are their physical properties extremely strong? How could they be eaten so easily? Even though I only ate 1 bite just now, my body feels much stronger. At this moment, Zhuan Ran, who had just woken up, ran over and hugged Li. Yuqing tightly, "Sir, you're back. I've missed you to death during this time." Li Huting was speechless. "I see you must have been awakened by the aroma of meat." Zhuan Ran stuck out her tongue cutely and said, "Absolutely impossible. Zhuan Ran's respect for you, my lord, is attested by heaven and earth." "I woke up because I felt your breath, sir." Li Yuqing shook his head again. "You are a spirit body eating. This is useless." Seeing the 2 people laughing and joking, Lin Xuan was extremely happy. This kind of atmosphere is really not bad. "Master, please give them some food. We can't finish it all anyway, Li." Yuqing nodded. "It's up to you. I'm full. I'm going." "Okay, bye-bye, Master. Thank you." The 2 little girls heard that it was time to eat and immediately ran to the grill. "Master, when I grow up, I will feed you in return, okay? The grilled meat is done. I'll take it first." "Ha-hey!" Lin Xuan snatched the grilled meat skewer from Yu Rong's hand, making the little girl unable to help but cry, "Hoo-hoo, big brother, you're so bad only knowing how to bully me." After feasting on dragon meat, Lin Xuan felt changes in his body, although 2V hasn't changed much yet. But clearly the spiritual power is still increasing. Am I feeling wrong? Then let's try our magic power. Casually struck a palm forward. Boom, boom, boom! An ear-splitting explosion rang out. Lin Xuan was quite satisfied. His physical strength and flexibility had at least increased by more than 100 times. "But sir, this sorry, I used too much force just now and it cracked a hole. With my current strength, would it be too much to bully others if I participate in the sect competition?" Just at this moment, Yu Rong and Lin Xuan heard melodious music in their ears. Even Wu Ang, who was cleaning and trimming, could hear that just the sound of this zither could shake the 4 directions. It can be seen that her strength is really not ordinary. Lin Xuan followed the music, saw his beautiful master sitting here playing the piano. He remembered 2 months ago at the Wuding sect's main hall, he was frustrated. Damn it, there is not a single elder who is prepared to accept a genius like me. One day, I will make them regret it. Just as Lin Xuan was about to leave Wuding sect, he heard his master's voice. "Lin Xuan, follow me." Lin Xuan pointed at himself. "Master is talking about me. Who else is named Lin Xuan here?" Li Yuqing calmly replied. Seeing that he was finally accepted, Lin Xuan was extremely excited. Chu Hai Peak Elder actually chose a nobody like me out of hundreds of thousands of outer sect disciples. Could it be that I'm finally about to turn things around? Very good, very good. Thinking of that, he had already walked to his master's side. Li Yuqing stopped the movement in his hand and said lightly, "You can consider this as the drumbeat before the great test begins for the sect. If you lose tomorrow, you will know my strength. Hey. Lin Xuan patted his chest and said confidently, "Disciple will definitely not disappoint Master's expectations. I will let Chu Hai Peak be the top among the 360 elders. Okay, then I will wait here for your good news. Master, aren't you going to the scene to cheer for me?" Li Yuting slowly walked to her disciple's side and said softly, "What is this all you have?" Lam Huyan's face suddenly turned red. His master's breath like orchids came close to his ear, making him stutter and unable to say a word. Seeing his appearance, Li Yuqing couldn't help but cover her mouth and laugh, "Ha ha ha. Why can't you stand being teased like that?" Lam Huyan was speechless at this moment. Perhaps the hardships of the first 2 lives were for me to meet my master. The next morning on the Wuding Sect Square, today's grand competition also began to welcome the elders of the immortal sect. In the sky, more than 10 figures descended. Below the inner sect, disciples had also gathered in full. Lin Xuan stood among the disciples looking up at the sky. In a flash, the sect master led more than 10 people down. In the blink of an eye, 100 years have passed. The inner sect has welcomed many new people. Everyone here is a member of the sect in the future. They will definitely become the pillars of the sect, witnessing or personally building the sect to become stronger and stronger. I think the elders of each sect have already announced the content and rules, so I won't say much more. But the disciples here all understood the rules. Only one person didn't understand, and that was Lin Xuan. His head was full of question marks at this moment. What? Looking at their appearance, it seemed like they all knew. Before my master left, she didn't tell me anything. Hayes, forget it, forget it. If a player is being bullied, let them go. The sect master spoke again. We only have one sentence that strictly forbids mutual destruction. Then the elders joined forces to set up a magic formation. Passing through the barrier will lead you to the compassion grounds, the Changping secret realm. Disciples participating in the great exam, please come here to get the jade tablet. Very quickly, it was Lin Xuan's turn to be issued the token. The sect master looked at him and smiled. Don't get involved anymore, go directly to my sect and become my personal disciple. Isn't it more harmful to fight to the death here? The sect master's words made the other disciples extremely dissatisfied in their hearts. That's great, it's him. I also want to be personally invited by the sect master. Humph, isn't he a bit more handsome? And he has 3 spiritual root attributes. But the sect master's heart was shouting, just now after Lin Xuan saw my strength, he will definitely be convinced by me. Then he will agree to become my personal disciple, haha. However, Lin Xuan's words were the sect master's good intentions, but let's forget it. Anyway, my teacher is not bad to me. Even if I die in this life, I will die in my master's heart. These words made the sect master's originally happy face turn to stone. The other disciples were also furious. Damn it, every day. He doesn't get a little bit of hatred. He's completely uncomfortable, right? That's right. He's really too unreasonable. The sect master heard Lin Xuan say that and helplessly sighed. Hayes, one day you will understand my suffering. All right, who got the jade token to enter the Changping secret realm for the test? Entering the secret realm, Lin Xuan felt the surroundings for a moment and said softly, the concentration of spiritual qi here is much denser. Not only twice as dense as outside, but it is still far inferior to my master's small world. But what are the rules of the test anyway? There is no information on this jade card. Lin Xuan was wandering around when he suddenly met someone. There's this person here. If I ask this person, won't I know? The young man was cultivating when he suddenly heard a voice and turned around to look. Who's there? Lin Xuan stepped forward and shouted loudly, Humph! You've been surrounded by me alone! This made the young man who was cultivating freeze. This person doesn't seem normal. You don't take the time to adjust the spiritual energy fluctuations in your body, but instead run around here. Are you trying to kill yourself? Lin Xuan sneered. Hey, tell me everything related to the test. I can consider letting you off for now, otherwise. The young man heard that and angrily stood up. Don't think that because sect leader Duanqing values you, you can ignore everyone. As long as you are transferred here, it will be a short period of time without using spiritual power, and a long period of time, it will be 2 to 3 hours. Do you think I will be afraid of you? Lin Xuan's mouth corners twitched. Looks like you're not going to say it right. The young man smiled faintly. I'm not hiding anything. I once tempered my physical body. If you want to deal with me, you're still very tender. Talk too much, Lin Xuan said in a low voice. Under the terrified eyes of the young man, Lin Xuan threw a punch straight at his face. Boom. The young man was sent flying back dozens of meters and hit the corner of a tree. He couldn't help but spit out a mouthful of fresh blood. His whole body was covered in wounds, cough, cough. How is it possible that you can use spiritual power? Lin Xuan walked in front of him, folded his arms and said, Don't stand there mumbling to yourself anymore. I'll give you one last chance. Tell me everything you know. But in the Wuding sect martial arts school, seeing this scene through the image of the formation, the disciples began to stir. Sector Master Lin Xuan, he is a cheater. He must have used some kind of object to suppress the spiritual energy fluctuations in his body. If not, why is his body not injured at all? The secret realm is independent of the Yuanjue realm. It's true that there will be a surge of spiritual energy within the body after teleportation. But I haven't told you is that as long as your physical body is strong enough, it can resist the spatial distortion during teleportation. Besides, there is currently no magic weapon that can stop this oscillation. The disciples broke out in a cold sweat upon hearing this, their entire bodies trembling. If that's the case, doesn't that prove that Lin Xuan's body is stronger than everyone else here? The head of Wuding sect smiled faintly. Continue watching. Wuding sect has not had a disciple with such amazing talent for so many years. Inside the secret realm, seeing that the disciple was still not answering, Lin Xuan spoke in a low voice again. Have you thought it through, brother? Don't be so slow. The other disciple, although very angry, still gritted his teeth and said, As time passes, the secret realm will gradually shrink. After 10 days, the secret realm will close. At that time, whoever has the most jade tokens in their hand will be able to win. Lin Xuan stroked his chin as if he had realized something. Does that mean we have to rely on our own strength to fight for it from others? Yes, but the jade token, with the special floating cloud, even if it is obtained, can only be kept on the person and cannot be put into the storage bag. Once the jade token is released, the next body that falls will be immediately teleported out, even if the hand shakes and accidentally drops it on the ground. Lin Xuan heard and took out his token to examine it and nodded slightly, so that's it. But I still have to test to see if you are fooling me or not. Then let's use him as a test subject. With that, Lin Xuan waved his hand, and the flying order inside the disciple was taken away by him. This made the disciple extremely angry. Didn't you say that if you let go, you would let me go? Seeing this disciple being teleported away, Lin Xuan smiled. I didn't see anyone agree to the conditions when I mentioned them earlier. It's too late to say them now. Hehe. So if we rely on this rule after waiting for others to get a certain amount, we can directly take it from them. Isn't it less effort than going to take it from each person? And so Lin Xuan sat leisurely on the tree resting until an hour later. He suddenly heard a noise from below. Is someone coming? Although I don't think I'm bullying others too much, but if someone has rushed to the door to give food, of course, there's no reason not to eat it. Thinking of this, he jumped down from the tree, startling the person in front. Lin Xuan smiled faintly. You're scared, I advise you. But before he could finish speaking, a clear voice rang out in his ear. Is it you? Lin Xuan looked at the person in front and was stunned. You are Fang Bai, a beautiful young woman with full breasts, platinum hair, and eyes as clear as a lake, appeared in front of Lin Xuan. As soon as she saw him, Fang Bai happily said, You are Lin Xuan. She immediately rushed forward using her big round breasts to rub against his arm. Wow, finally I met someone I know. Lin Xuan's heart was pounding, her face flushed red when she was so boldly attacked by this girl. Seeing Lin Xuan embarrassed, Fang Bai asked Lin Xuan suspiciously, Is there a problem? Lin Xuan hurriedly pushed Fang Bai away and said, No, men and women cannot touch each other. But who is Fang Bai? Hehe, ignore those things. This time there will be many people who will fight, or we should join forces, otherwise it would be too much for you to be alone. He was hit in the face by those 2 pairs of weapons until his nose was bleeding. I haven't seen you for years. I didn't expect your changes to be this big. I almost couldn't take it. What should I do? Fang Bai looked at Lin Xuan with pitiful eyes and said, I don't need the jade token I won. While fighting for the jade token, you just need to protect me from being sent back. Wait until I find our peak's main force. If it's not convenient for you to take the jade token, can I hold it for you? Out of respect for the 2 weapons in front of his chest, Lin Xuan naturally nodded and agreed. Okay, of course it's okay. Hey, Lin Xuan, Gege is still the best. The 2 people were talking when suddenly they heard a sound in the distance. They both looked over at the same time. The sound is so loud something seems to have happened. It seems someone has started robbing. They tiptoed towards the scene of the fight, looking at the figures in front of them punching and kicking. Lin Xuan couldn't help but take a deep breath. What a fierce fight. It seems that there are not a few people on these 2 teams. Beside him, his younger sister, Fang Bai, looked at him pitifully and said, I'm telling you, brother Lin Xuan, let's go. No matter who these 2 groups of people are, we are no match for them. Lin Xuan looked down and saw 2 weapons that made his nose bleed again. Lin Xuan hurriedly turned his head away, only to hear Fang Bai continue. Moreover, in these 2 groups of people, there are formation realm cultivators whose team strength is very high. Their jade tokens are not something we can get if we want. Why are you coughing so much? Lin Xuan helplessly coughed a few times. My shirt slipped. Only then did Fang Bai realize that more than half of her chest was exposed, and quickly covered it up. I didn't notice. Looking at the 2 groups of people struggling in front, Lin Xuan smiled faintly. Don't worry, I have never done anything uncertain. Wait for the right moment to start making a move. Until an hour later, one side was defeated by the other. The leader of the winners was a fat young man. He was extremely pleased. Haha, everyone, let's quickly take the spoils of war. Yes, boss. This time the harvest is quite a bit, huh? The 2 junior brothers in the group happily went out to collect the tokens. Right at this moment, a figure suddenly appeared behind them. When the 2 looked over, they asked doubtfully, What's that sound? Are you Lin Xuan? Lin Xuan said absent-mindedly, That's right, I came to take the jade token. Give me all the jade tokens you have taken, and I might spare you. One of the disciples heard this and said disdainfully, What a great tone, although 2 jade tokens are a bit small if you've already proactively offered them to me. Then, before he finished speaking, a loud bang was heard. A fist that fell from the sky lovingly hit his face. This disciple couldn't help but spit out a mouthful of fresh blood. He flew and hit the ground with a loud bang, making the people around him shake. The fat guy in the lead couldn't help but change his expression. Why is there such a big commotion over there? When he turned around and looked back, he saw his 2 juniors lying there. He could hardly believe his eyes. This kid is the disciple of the weakest elder Chu Hai Peak. But the younger sister Fang Bai looked at Lin Xuan with admiration. Wow, brother Lin Xuan, you're so amazing. I didn't expect that 1 against 2 wouldn't be under any pressure. The 2 were harvesting the spoils of war when the fat man's voice rang out. You are Lin Xuan of Chu Hai Peak, right? I didn't expect that the weakest disciple of Peak would have some ability. I wonder if you can still hold out against so many people. Brothers, come up for me. Receiving orders, his underlings charged straight at Lin Xuan. Seeing the fierce atmosphere they attacked, Fang Bai was a bit timid and hid behind Lin Xuan and said softly, "Can you handle so many people coming up together?" Lin Xuan's mouth corners curled up. "Only this level is fine. Sister Fang Bai, hide well and wait to see the good show. Just checking to see how much the spirit liquid helps increase my cultivation." As soon as the words fell, Lin Xuan took a deep breath and used almost all his strength to slam his fist on the ground. Spiritual energy from his hand penetrated the ground, and then he charged straight at the group of people. The fat guy struggled to resist the feeling of spiritual energy being transmitted and couldn't help but change his expression. This brat. But before he could finish his words, the sword in his hand was shattered by the force of Lin Xuan's fist. With a loud bang, the fat guy was sent flying. Waiting for the smoke and dust to clear, Fang Bai poked his little head out from under the tree and asked Lin Xuan, "Brother, are you okay?" But when she saw the scene before her, she couldn't help but be moved. He single-handedly defeated a group of people. "I thought he was like before. I didn't expect him to be so strong. So handsome, so handsome." Lin Xuan finished dealing with those people and calmly said, "Fang Bai, come here to collect the jade tablets. Why are you smiling?" "Haha, nothing. They're here, they're here." Brother is right, robbing available items is much faster than robbing yourself. Once we get it, let's go. Wait for me, but let's say it again, I'll say it again. We won't directly snatch all the jade tokens from their hands. Anyway, being able to take them out of the secret realm can also reduce our opponents. Lin Xuan heard that and smiled faintly, so it said that it's too late to be young and don't know how to look far ahead. They want to get ranked in front, can only continue to rob others. We just need to take the jade tokens they robbed to pass. Just take the jade token they stole and you'll be able to pass. Isn't that easier than us looking everywhere for people? Fang Bai understood and nodded slightly. Is that okay? At the same time, at the Wuding sect's martial arts arena, although he said he wasn't here to cheer, Li Yuqing was actually there, watching the scene in front. The corner of her mouth couldn't help but curl up. "You really are exactly like me." Carrying back the group of fat men after being defeated, Lin Xuan did not take away the jade token on them. They began to gather in one place while supporting the senior brother. A bruised junior brother softly said, "Senior brother, our previous spoils of war are all gone. What should we do next?" The other senior brother rubbed his aching head. "What else can I do? I can only continue to rob other people. But the name Lin Xuan is not a very evil person. At least he left a piece of jade token on us, so we won't be eliminated directly. Okay, forget it, that's how it is. As long as we don't get taken out of the secret realm, we still have a chance to save ourselves. Next time we have to try harder." Hearing the words of the other people's discussion, the bustling sound on the arena rang out again. These idiots were considered tools by others, yet they still have the nerve to thank them. It's really beyond words. At the same time, Lin Xuan rested under a tree and looked at Fang Bai and asked, "That's right, you are the prince's sworn sister. Why aren't you in the palace and out here cultivating? Did you make a mistake and don't dare admit it, so you secretly ran out?" Fang Bai was a bit angry and said with a sullen face, "What nonsense are you talking about? 5 years ago, His Highness cultivated too hastily, causing the spiritual energy to become chaotic and his meridians to become congested. In this life, he has almost no chance of breaking through. In addition, the Nanyang dynasty has now returned to the human world to preside over the overall situation." Lin Xuan was a little surprised. "You said the Nanyang dynasty is shaking. What does this mean?" Bach explained that the Liang dynasty sent troops to invade Nanyang, plus the betrayal of the heir Zhang Man in the foreign policy, causing chaos within and outside. And your family is considered a powerful force in Nanyang. Could it be that they didn't say anything to you? Lin Xuan shook his head. "No, come to think of it, since I went out to cultivate, I haven't heard any news for a long time." "Then, after the signing is over, let's go back and see how it goes." Lin Xuan was hit by 2 weapons. His face red, and he nodded. Okay. In a flash, it was already night that day, after the fat guy and his fellow disciples finished dealing with a group of people they encountered. His head was full of sweat. Whoosh, robbing twice in one day is not so easy. But before they could collect their spoils, a demonic voice rang out behind them. "Aiya, I originally planned to rest, but I didn't expect to meet so many people." Seeing Lin Xuan coming, the fat man and his fellow disciples couldn't help but change their expressions. "Lin Xuan, why did you appear again?" Lin Xuan scratched his ear. "Why is it so hot at night?" One of the female disciples was so angry that she couldn't help but shout, "If you hadn't stolen our jade tokens earlier, we would have had more than 100 of them already. What do you want to do?" Lin Xuan gently landed from the tree and said indifferently, "Hand over all the jade tokens you stole. Don't struggle in vain. For the sake of your master, I guarantee that none of you will be eliminated." This made the fat guy and his juniors glare again. "Do you really think we are hens? As soon as we lay eggs, you want to take them away. Stop bullying others too much." Lin Xuan replied, "Anyway, if you guys don't allow it, I can only do it one more time. I'll count to 3 if you don't talk. I'll do it 3 too." Seeing Lin Xuan doing it, the fat guy immediately shouted, "Wait a minute!" Seeing the fat guy just take out the jade token bag, a junior sister couldn't help but shout loudly, "Senior brother, what are you doing?" Lin Xuan conveniently took the jade bag and smiled. "That's refreshing. You know that. Well then, I'll take my leave now. Bye-bye." Seeing Lin Xuan leave, the group of disciples couldn't help but curse. Damn it. Senior brother, if you give it to him directly, wouldn't our efforts be in vain? The fat senior brother leading the team patted his head and said helplessly, we are currently not Lin Xuan's opponents at all. If we fight him, our losses will only be more serious. So what do we do now? Senior brother's eyes filled with tears. What else can I do? I can only avoid Lin Xuan and take the jade token from others. At the same time, after leaving, Fang Bai was still a bit worried and said, although winning the jade token will be very quick, will they always be willing to be our tools? Lin Xuan waved her hand. No, you're too naive again. Fang Bai looked at him with innocent eyes. Do you have a way to make them voluntarily help us get the jade token? How can there be such a stupid person in this world? Lin Xuan smiled faintly. It's not that I have a way, it's that if they don't go and win the jade token, how can they have the top ranking? Fang Bai still felt a little uneasy after hearing that she said, that being said, what should we do now? Should we continue to rob? Lin Xuan smiled. How can it be called robbery? In this dangerous secret world, our method is to prevent them from being robbed by others, because they carry many jade tokens. If we take such great risks, how can we say that helping them keep the jade token is a robbery? This is a good thing. Fang Bai didn't understand anything, but she felt that what Lin Xuan said made a lot of sense. I didn't expect us to be so great. That's natural hearing, the two people's happy and sad exchange. The elders in the martial arts arena were extremely angry. Elder Wang, you really taught a good disciple. You didn't learn much, but instead learned to be someone else's dog. You don't know what to do. You can only endure that stinking brat Lin Yuan, and yet you don't feel it's too much. The sectmaster was listening to the crowd's discussion when he suddenly saw a large weapon appear beside him. He glanced over and frowned. Isn't this Elder Li? She always hated this noisy place, but this time she came here. It seems that she really values this disciple Lin Xuan. Li Yuqing observed Lin Xuan for a while and couldn't help but smile. I didn't expect that in such a short time he would have collected several hundred jade tokens, and without any injuries. Looks like the training these past few days has been very effective. He's become this powerful. I didn't think this guy would actually take my words to heart. Well, it's no use being here anymore. I'm really worrying in vain. One night, nothing happened. In the blink of an eye, it was early morning the next day. Lin Xuan was sleeping with his legs up on a tree. Just then, Fang Bai's loud voice rang out, Brother Lin Xuan, which group should we start with today? Lin Xuan smiled faintly. Don't be in a hurry. You should understand that these tool people are just like normal people. You have to give them time to rest. If there are only a few dozen jade tokens in total, wouldn't our trip have been in vain? Fang Bai nodded like a chicken pecking at rice. What you said really makes sense. However, when they heard these words, the elders outside had dark expressions on their faces. Sect, Master, listen, is this human speech? Not long after, a group of people came to where the two were resting. Senior brother, this time we really had a bumper crop. Thank you for taking us along. Seeing the crowd coming, Fang Bai couldn't help but be surprised. Lin Xuan looked at her suspiciously. What's wrong? Fang Bai replied, the captain in front is my disciple and the same elder. Lin Xuan frowned slightly. If you're in a difficult situation, then you don't need to go out later. Don't destroy your sect relationship. But Fang Bai shook his head. No, I mean my relationship with them is not that good, but people from the same sect can make them let down their guard. Lin Xuan patted his shoulder and encouraged him. Very good, excellent children are easy to teach. And then Fang Bai stepped out from his hiding place. Senior brother, the boss, and the other disciples saw Fang Bai and couldn't help but be surprised. Hey, isn't this junior sister, Fang Bai? Unexpectedly, junior sister Fang Bai has not been eliminated yet. It seems that junior sister is really as master said. Her strength is extraordinary, but her legs are not good enough to keep up with the team. Fang Bai smiled faintly in her heart. Didn't you intentionally throw me out in the middle of the road? But the words that came out of her mouth were senior brother. Don't joke with me anymore. This time I came to introduce someone to you, senior brothers and sisters. The other guy heard that and frowned slightly. Who is that? Let me introduce you, senior brothers. This is Lin Xuan of Chuhai Peak. Lin Xuan walked out and said coldly, the purpose of Fang Bai and I coming this time is to steal your jade token. The leading disciple couldn't help but be surprised when he heard that. Very good. You actually formed a group with an outsider, haha. Then don't blame me for not showing mercy to you. After saying that, he drew out the great sword from his waist, pointing straight at Lin Xuan. Looking at the sword emitting enormous spiritual power in front of him, his fellow disciples were extremely surprised. Master gave this magic weapon to senior brother. So admirable. This magic weapon has a 30% win rate against cultivators of the same realm. Lin Xuan, this time you are dead for sure. Seeing his senior brother's fierce aura attacking Fang Bai also felt a bit uneasy. Brother Lin Xuan, be careful. But in a blink of an eye, Lin Xuan disappeared before the other disciple's eyes. Before he could react, Lin Xuan's fist swung out. Your movements are very slow. Pop, a clear sound rang out. The disciple spat out a mouthful of fresh blood. Several of his front teeth were broken and flew backwards. Seeing this scene, the disciples who were with that guy couldn't help but change their expressions. What happened just now? Senior brother, it's over before you even touch Lin Xuan. But just now I didn't see Lin Xuan take action. Why did senior brother? Senior brother, are you okay? Quickly help senior brother up. The other guy who was covered in bruises glared at Lin Xuan and gritted his teeth. Damn it, I can't use any strength right now. Fuck, if you have the guts, then fight openly. What kind of hero is that if you sneak attack like that? Lin Xuan heard this and couldn't help but cover his mouth and laugh. Did I sneak attack you just now? I've gone easy on you. Fang Bai B-side Lin Xuan also added fuel to the fire haze. Senior brother, don't struggle in vain anymore. Give up after all in this dangerous secret realm. If all of you are seriously injured, then the Jade token won't be able to be kept. However, at this moment that senior brother was angry and pointed at Fang Bai and shouted, "Even if we die today, we will not give the Jade token to a traitor like you." Senior brother is right. This time when I go out, I will definitely report to Master, have her expelled from the Sec Brothers and bring her to me. Seeing this group of people with overwhelming momentum wanting to attack Lin Xuan, waved his hand. Fang Bai stepped back a bit. I originally did not want to be rude to you, but you are iron-headed, must be brought first. Then do not blame me for being merciless. Saying that, Lin Xuan quickly transformed into a white light and charged towards the crowd. In less than 3 breaths, he had finished off the entire crowd. Hi Z, I told you so. Why does it have to be like this? I don't know what to do. Seeing Lin Xuan getting cooler and cooler, Fang Bai's eyes became more and more fascinated. Lin Xuan smiled. What are you standing there for? Hurry up and collect the Jade token. The old rule is to leave 1 piece for each person. Not long after the Jade tablet was collected into the bag. Wow, brother Lin Xuan. Including this time these past few days, we have a total of more than 5,000 pieces. Not bad. Not bad. With another 3,000 pieces, we will be firmly in the number 1 or 2 positions. When Lin Xuan left, the disciples were extremely angry. Their bodies were also injured to the point that they could not stand up. Damn it, Fang Bai Lin Xuan, you guys stand there for me. Just at this moment, a group of people appeared here. Wasn't the leader Zhao Mu who was defeated by Lin Xuan? Just arrived, he said in a dazed tone. Ida, what's wrong with you guys? Seeing the people coming, the group of disciples couldn't help but grit their teeth. You Yun Peak people, what do you guys want to do? Zhao Mu smiled faintly. No need to be so nervous. We don't want to do anything. We're just asking out of curiosity. The leader gritted his teeth and said, Isn't it because I was ambushed by that brat Lin Xuan that I ended up like this? Thinking about the scene where he was sent flying by Lin Xuan's palm, Zhao Mu gritted his teeth. Lin Xuan, I won't allow that brat to continue to be complacent. Thinking of this, he smiled and said, Little brother, if we have to fight Lin Xuan, why don't we discuss a countermeasure together? That bastard Lin Xuan committed an evil crime. He acted recklessly in the secret realm and robbed a large amount of Jade tokens, causing many disciples to be busy for nothing, so we decided to join hands to deal with Lin Xuan. Hearing that the leader still said a bit hesitantly, but Lin Xuan Zhao Mu smiled faintly. Don't worry, we have a total of 6 Formation Realm cultivations here today, plus many junior brothers supporting us. Just a Lin Xuan, I don't even put him in my eyes. The fat guy who was robbed by Lin Xuan several times was also here. He angrily spoke up. That's right. The last 2 times we were only ambushed by Lin Xuan, which allowed him to succeed. Now if we just work together, can't we still beat a Lin Xuan? 2 times you were robbed twice by the same person, and it was also a sneak attack. This is too bad. Zhao Mu once again enticed. What's up, little brother? Want to join us? The other guy, who was already quite angry towards Lin Xuan, continued. Moreover, if we join forces with them to successfully steal Lin Xuan's token, we might have a chance of winning. Thinking of this, he nodded. Okay, we'll join. Thus the 3 teams led by the 6 Formation Realm cultivations made an agreement to kill Lin Xuan and seize the Jade card. At the same time, Lin Xuan still did not know the upcoming danger and was leisurely strolling Fang Bai beside him. Softly said, Brother Lin Xuan, you didn't really hurt them, did you? Don't worry, they are all good assistants of ours who earn tokens. How could I bear to really hurt them? Fang Bai let out a sigh of relief. Thank goodness, thank goodness. After all, they are fellow disciples. As long as they are not seriously injured, that's fine. Just at this moment, behind the 2 people, a voice rang out. Lin Xuan, stop there for me. You are so arrogant that you treat us like pigs and dogs today. I will definitely make you pay. Seeing Lin Xuan's group, he smiled faintly. Oh, it's you guys. It seems that there are some people who want to escape their status as tools. What do you think we should do? What else can we do? Of course, we have to teach them a lesson so that they understand their status. Hearing the 2 people, some were happy and some were angry. The people in front were extremely angry. Don't think that just because you're teaming up with Lin Xuan, you can be arrogant. Today I'll teach a bastard like you a lesson on behalf of my master. Lin Xuan waved his hand. Fang Bai, be careful. We're facing quite a lot this time. But at this moment, a mutation occurred. A crimson glowing ring appeared behind Lin Xuan. Under Fang Bai's terrified eyes, Lin Xuan was actually ambushed by that hidden weapon. Brother Lin Xuan, are you okay? The person who just attacked Lin Xuan was none other than Zhao Mu. He couldn't help but smirk and say, I didn't expect that with such a simple lack of concentration, I was able to succeed. Lin Xuan gritted his teeth and stared at Zhao Mu. So you can only suppress it. Zhao Mu smiled coldly and said, What if I sneak attack? As long as I can defeat you, I don't care what method you use. Moreover, with that one strike just now, I sealed your cultivation. This time you won't be able to use any more magic power, haha. Don't talk too much to him. While he's weak, everyone hurry up. Saw them attack. Fang Bai was furious. She formed a magic seal and released an energy strike. You people only know how to fish in troubled waters. I will absolutely not let you achieve success. She shouted loudly. 2 bundles of spiritual power shot out from her hands, fiercely confront the incoming attacks. Boom, boom! The explosions rang out continuously, but when Fang Bai was fighting against the other people, she turned her head and saw Lin Xuan slowly falling down. This made Fang Bai's expression change. Lin Xuan, Gege, wake up quickly. Seeing Fang Bai so distracted, Zhao Mu smiled faintly. You still have time to care about others. Care about your own situation now. When Fang Bai turned her head to look back, she saw Zhao Mu's palm strike. She couldn't help but frown too fast. There's no time to gather energy. I can only form a barrier first. I don't know how long I can hold out. Fang Bai's 2 hands protruded, forming a protective barrier in front of her and Lin Xuan. But because of these barriers, her electric hand quickly resisted and reached its limit. After only 10 breaths, Fang Bai already felt something was wrong. A few cracking sounds. Not long after the barrier was broken, Fang Bai was also sent, flying backwards by Zhao Mu's attack, and directly fainted. Zhao Mu slowly walked to Fang Bai's side and coldly smiled. I thought you guys were so powerful. We haven't even used our full strength yet, and you've already fallen. Tisk. Such a big bag of jade tokens, I got it. But just as he was feeling pleased, he suddenly felt a sharp pain in his face, not knowing when Lin Xuan stood up and kicked Zhao Mu straight in the face. I usually hate it when other people touch my things, because I'm very afraid of dirt. Seeing him being kicked backwards, several other disciples stepped forward to help Zhao Mu up. He stared at Lin Xuan in disbelief and said, This. How could it be that you haven't been sealed in your cultivation? Lin Xuan sarcastically said, Oh, to match your acting, I'm trying my best to perform. Otherwise, why would you let your guard down? Damn it, this kid looks down on us, brothers. Let's go together. But before they could reach the place, Lin Xuan's figure had already disappeared in front. In a flash, Lin Xuan appeared above the crowd. A powerful spiritual power attack from above struck straight at the crowd. The one who took the blame was of course the one who had just ambushed Lin Xuan. Zhao Mu was struck down by Lin Xuan's palm. Then he stepped down on his chest and said, I originally wanted to keep you guys a little longer so you could have a rank, but you wanted to kill me and Fang Bai. Then don't blame me for not showing mercy. After saying that, Lin Xuan conveniently took out the jade token from Zhao Mu's body. Goodbye, Zhao Mu. Go ask the elder of Yu Yun. Peek for me. Zhao Mu angrily shouted, Lin Xuan, you wait there for me. Not long after, Fang Bai slowly woke up from her coma. Just woke up. She saw Lin Xuan's face pulled out and sticking out his tongue. Li. She screamed, Ah, there's a ghost slap. A moment later, a handprint appeared on Lin Xuan's cheek. Fang Bai, you're really too much. You didn't see clearly and you already attacked. I was by your side taking care of you for half a day. In the end, I didn't even say a word of thanks. Fang Bai completely ignored Lin Xuan's words and stared at the bag of jade tokens. Wow, with these added, we have a total of 8,000 pieces of jade tokens now. The sect test is almost over. These lessons are enough for us to get first or second place this time. Thanks to you, I have the opportunity to get first place like this. Don't say that I've had a hard time carrying the jade token all this way, so this is what I've come to get, right? As long as I carry the jade token lightly, then being able to get this second-rate deal is already too good. That's right, brother Lin Xuan. Haven't we been creating too much hatred these past few days? It's mainly because I'm afraid that after we go out, those elders. Lin Xuan replied, The sect test is for Wu Ding Immortal Sect to select elite disciples. It is an important way to distribute resources. If we have already taken the test, then what is there to worry about? The 2 people were talking when suddenly a huge suction force appeared. This made the 2 people jump in surprise. What's going on? It seems like we're about to be teleported away. The competition is probably about to end. At the same time, the big bell on the main hall rang loudly. The competition is officially over. Please invite the teleported disciples to line up. Lin Xuan looked at the disciples who had just been teleported here with him and was a bit surprised. It seems that there are still quite a few people who weren't eliminated. The sectmaster looked at the disciples in front of him and said with a smile, The official results of the exam have been finalized. I declare that the first prize of the sect's exam is Lin Xuan. Seeing Lin Xuan being eliminated, the group of disciples were extremely angry. Damn Lin Xuan, if I have the chance this time, I will not forgive you. Starting from today, Chuhai Peak is the top peak of the 360 Elders. The reward is 100,000 low-grade spirit stones and treasure armor. The sounds of chatter began to ring out. Chuhai Peak only has one disciple, Lin Xuan. Don't those rewards all belong to him alone? Lin Xuan is now strong enough. Adding these valuable low-grade spirit treasures, won't he ascend to heaven? Next are the rewards from 2nd to 10th. Lin Xuan received his reward and was extremely reluctant. Although these reward resources are good, I don't have a single magic weapon in my hand. At this moment, after receiving the reward, Fang Bai rushed forward and used his great weapon to rub Lin Xuan's hand. Brother Lin Xuan, if it weren't for you helping me this time, I wouldn't have been taken so seriously. Wait, calm down, say it slowly, let me go first. Fang Bai was extremely excited. I originally thought that after I went out, I would be beaten up by them. I didn't expect that after Master talked to them, all of them came to apologize to me. They said that they were blinded at that time and followed the wrong team. It caused the two of us to have to face so many people. Lin Xuan was also very happy. It's good that you're fine. I should go home and pack my things. This afternoon we'll leave for the Nanyang dynasty. Waiting to return to Li Yuking's place, Lin Xuan stammered, Master, give me this low-grade spirit-grade magic treasure. Just in time. I'm still lacking a magic treasure that's just right for me. Li Yuqing asked again, are you sure? Lin Xuan nodded vigorously. Yes, although there are many spirit liquids here with my strength, bringing so many spirit liquids out will definitely make me everyone's enemy. Didn't I already give you a magic treasure before? Lin Xuan smiled. Who would complain about having too many magic treasures? Li Yuqing was not stingy either. She snapped her fingers. Appearing next to our village was a large cauldron. This is for you. Although it is not a good thing for you, it will be enough for a long time. Lin Xuan stepped forward to check the cauldron again and thought to himself, this cauldron seems to be made of ordinary iron. There's not even the slightest bit of flexibility or vibration. As if knowing his thoughts, Li Yuqing smiled faintly. What's wrong? You don't want it. Seeing the two weapons of his master hitting his face, Lin Xuan quickly turned his head away. Who can stand it when she suddenly comes so closer? If you don't want it, I'll take it away. Hey, don't, my master wants it, I want it. Seeing the two people like that, Wu Ang immediately covered Yurong's eyes. Don't look, these two people being affectionate in front of children is really incomprehensible. That's right, my master is planning to return to the secular world soon. Li Yuqing nodded slightly. Go, family matters are more important. Going down this path is going against the heavens. The lifespan of a normal person is only 100 years. Arrange well for your family so that they can live a few more years, just to have some nostalgia. Hearing his master's words, Lin Xuan couldn't help but wonder, Master, it's like this again. Perhaps since childhood as an illegitimate child, I haven't felt the harmony between my parents. Master, you're really pitiful. That's right, hey Yurong, come out. I have something to tell you. When I'm not here, I can't take care of my master. Please take care of him for me, so I don't feel ashamed. Hearing this, Li Yuqing's cheeks suddenly turned red. Are you serious? Seeing Lin Xuan looking back in confusion, Li Yuqing spoke again. Are you serious about what you just said? Lin Xuan nodded affirmatively. Of course, I'm serious. I am a sincere disciple to my master. Heaven and earth are my witnesses. Although very happy, Li Yuqing glanced at him. This kid just likes to talk sweetly. Okay, don't just talk sweetly. Go do your work and remember to bring the cauldron. Lin Xuan unceremoniously put the cauldron back into his storage space, then bowed after. When the disciple is done arranging, he will immediately return to serve the master. Yes, that's good. Go early and come back early. After Lin Xuan turned away, he deliberately looked back at his master's back. There is a big gap in time between me and my master. Master has a prominent family. Background is beautiful and has money, but what about me? Except for being handsome, I have nothing. If you want someone with natural talent to say that it's just that they come from a slightly larger family in the secular world, it seems that I can only try harder to be able to close the distance with my master. Standing next to Wu Ang, the corner of his mouth curled up. I didn't expect that someone as great as you would one day fall in love with a mortal man. How ridiculous, Li Yuqing snorted. I'm his master. Wu Ang did not believe you gave him the 9-tripod empress, who is known as the strongest defense in the heavens. You told me you only consider him a disciple. Li Yuqing's eyes flashed with a cold light. Are you done talking? If you're done talking, then quickly go to work. Humph. Now without the 9 cauldrons forming the imperial formation, I'm afraid you are no match for my father at all. Humph. Just based on him, is he worthy? Hateful, see how I deal with you? 10 days later in the Nanyang dynasty Pingchang town, Lin Xuan and Fang Bai returned here. Wow, Fang Bai, you're so good. You even specially made a new set of clothes for me. Looking at the quality of the fabric, it must have cost you a lot of money, right? Fang Bai looked at Lin Xuan and felt more and more pleased. Ah yeah, those are just small amounts of money. This time Emperor Father knew that I was going back to the mortal world, so he specially gave me a lot of money. When you were still in the competition, you took care of me so much. So this time when I return to Nanyang, I will invite you. The words made Lin Xuan moved to tears. Fang Bai Moi is so good. Brother Lin Xuan, you don't need to be so moved that you cry. It's just a small amount of money. At the same time in Li Yuqing's small world through a certain formation, seeing this scene, Yurong covered her mouth and shouted loudly, Sir! Li Yuqing was taking a bath and heard someone calling her. She turned around and looked back. What's the matter? Yurong hurriedly tattled Lin Xuan, and a strange girl went out to play in the human world. They seemed to be having a good time. Li Yuqing's eyes flashed what? In a flash appeared before the formation. Then she threw Yurong aside. Move aside, let me see. Yurong was thrown a dizzying shock, the two young ladies whispered to each other. Luckily the master secretly installed a monitoring device in Lin Xuan's arm. Otherwise I don't know how he flirts. Then the master wouldn't have thrown me, hoo-hoo. Staring at the broadcast image, Li Yuqing's willow leaf eyebrows furrowed tightly. Lin Xuan, don't disappoint your master. Lin Xuan still didn't know he was being followed. He was walking on the main road of Pingchang town. It's not much different here compared to my memories. It seems like the war didn't affect the Nanyang dynasty at all. Could it be that the information you got is fake? On the surface, it was said that the shaky royal dynasty of the past needed someone to preside over the big picture, but in reality, it was to trick the prince into returning to inherit the great cause. This I don't know either. Okay, I won't blame you. You might really not know. If that's the case, then let's investigate. Fang Bai nodded slightly. So what should we do now? Of course, let's go home and see first. Arriving at his mansion, Lin Xuan knocked on the door. An old butler immediately ran out and saw him surprised and asked, "Are you young, Master Lin Xuan?" Lin Xuan smiled and said, "Yes, Uncle Zhao, long time, no see." The old butler immediately hugged him tightly. "What a young master! Hoo, I miss you so much I could die." Lin Xuan was at a loss. "Uncle Zhao, don't be so agitated. What happened at home?" The old butler nodded slightly, his eyes unconsciously looking at Fang Bai beside him. The old man immediately ran over. "Oh my, what a beautiful lady! Are you our young master, Lin Xuan's girlfriend?" Lin Xuan hurriedly pulled the old butler back and whispered, "Uncle Zhao, she's just my friend in the immortal sect. Don't scare others." "Oh, so that's how it is." "That's right, Uncle Zhao, we've been talking here for half a day. Why hasn't my father come out to see?" Butler Zhao sweated. "This actually. The master went to the army a few years ago and hasn't returned yet." Hearing this, Lin Xuan couldn't help but change his expression. "What? But when I returned, I didn't see any traces of war within the borders of the Nanyang dynasty. So why did my father have to join the army?" The old butler explained 7 years ago, the lord of the Liang dynasty attacked Nanyang. That traitor Jiang man rebelled and coordinated with the enemy attacking the front line from both sides. If it weren't for His Majesty returning from the Immortal Gate 5 years ago to lead a large army to wipe out all the enemy troops within the border, otherwise the Nanyang king would have been defeated. We would have become slaves and lost our country. So where is my father now? The old man is probably still fighting bravely on the front lines. Except for the letter he sent in the past half year, he hasn't said much about his own situation. This made Lin Xuan confused. Didn't all the enemy troops within the border already cleared out? Why is he still at the front line? The old butler replied, "Right now, the Liang dynasty is supported by 2 other dynasties. The 2 great dynasties together sent more than 1 million troops and thousands of monks to attack the Nanyang dynasty." Beside him, Fang Bai gently pulled his shirt Lin Xuan. Lin Xuan understood and nodded slightly, saying, "How long has it been since my father last sent a letter?" "Young master, it was 7 days ago, but based on the distance from the front line, it should take half a month to get here." Lin Xuan pondered. If he can still send a letter back to the government, then it proves that the war situation at the front line is not that bad yet. "All right, Uncle Zhao, I'm going now." Seeing that Lin Xuan wanted to leave, the old butler hurriedly called back. "Wait, young master, are you planning to go to the front lines?" Lin Xuan smiled. "Of course, this young master has joined the immortal sect, but Nanyang dynasty is still my hometown. How can I let my hometown be trampled underfoot by outside enemies?" The old butler hurriedly advised, "But the front line is extremely dangerous. In recent years, there have been several nascent great powers fighting from afar against the young master. It's better to be careful." Liang smiled faintly. "Uncle Zhao, don't worry. It's just that the Liang dynasty is small. I don't even put it in my eyes. Even if there were 10 Liang dynasty countries, I would still blink and kill them all, haha." The old butler still wanted to say something, but Fang Bai spoke up. "It's okay. Uncle Zhao, brother Lin Xuan is very formidable now. Trust him." The 2 people had spoken up to here when the old butler helplessly sighed. "I remember when the young master left home, he was only in the early stages. Now 15 years have passed. He can break through to the nascent soul stage, which is already very good. I just hope he can return safely. If anything happens to the young master, miss, please keep the bloodline for our family." These words made Fang Bai's head full of question marks. Lin Xuan was also confused. "Uncle Zhao, I already said we're just normal friends. Don't talk nonsense anymore." 10 days later, 2 beams of light reached the junction of the Nanyang dynasty and the Liang dynasty. Lin Xuan used his divine sense to investigate the army. But at this moment, a flying sword shot towards Lin Xuan. He quickly jumped to the side to avoid it. 2 people appeared in the sky. As soon as they saw Lin Xuan, he said in a low voice, "Who are you?" Lin Xuan hurriedly replied, "Senior, don't worry, I am Lin Fu's son. 15 years ago, I went to Wuding Immortal Sect. This year, I graduated and returned. I specially came here to find my father." The 2 people who heard this couldn't help but be shocked. Wuding Immortal Sect. "So you are His Majesty's fellow disciple?" Lin Xuan nodded. "That's right now. I'm an inner sect disciple and can call your Majesty junior brother." "Okay, if you are already His Majesty's fellow disciple, then why don't you follow this old man to the camp? How should I send someone to find your father?" Not long after, a man in a robe and a handsome demeanor appeared in the tent, looking at Lin Xuan with his hands clasped together and saying, "So it's senior brother Lin. I've admired you for a long time. My little sister has accepted senior brother's care." The person who spoke was none other than the emperor of the Nanyang dynasty. Zhao Shuo, they only heard him continue. Before that, General Ding Yuan led his troops to guard the army's provisions. "I just sent someone to invite him. He should be here soon." Hearing this, Lin Xuan was also a bit surprised. I didn't expect that my playboy father could become a general after joining the army. Could it be that he bribed someone? Just at this moment, someone came forward to report. This old minister visits your majesty. The person who entered was none other than General Ding Yuan, Lin Fu, Lin Xuan's father. Seeing him, Lin Xuan's eyes filled with tears as he shouted, "Father!" But before the father and son could be moved when they met, Lin Fu shouted loudly, "Why are you back, kid?" He sighed. "I told you not to go at first. Now you're being sent back, right? How embarrassing." Lin Xuan said smugly, "Isn't it the same for Dad?" No wonder Uncle Zhao said that the land in the house was reduced by half. It turns out that it was all sold to increase military rank. This made Lin Fu extremely angry. "What nonsense, am I the one who will do this?" "You better tell me what are you doing here, kid?" Hey, of course it's to help you guys deal with that, Liang." Hearing this, Lin Fu's expression changed. "What nonsense is this where you came from? If you die on the battlefield, there won't even be anyone to burn gold and silver paper for me." Lin Xuan smiled faintly and said, "Don't worry, I'm now in the late stage of Formation Realm cultivation." I knew you were unreliable. You were out for so long before coming to Formation Realm cultivation." But speaking of that, Lin Fu suddenly shouted loudly, "What did you say?" His eyes were wide with surprise, and Lin Xuan was extremely pleased. "Father, please don't be so agitated. I'm so embarrassed." Zhao Shuo stood up in surprise when he heard this and asked, "Senior brother Lin Xuan, is what you said true? If Nanyang has a late-stage Formation Realm cultivation master, then there's no need to worry about the enemy's army of 1,000,000. Lin Xuan's mouth corners twitched. "Of course it's true," he said, then released the pressure on his body. Lin Fu now spoke up. "Although it can be said that your talent is far superior to most people in the Nanyang dynasty, 15 years is too short. Without a large amount of resources, it is definitely impossible to reach such a level. Tell me honestly, did you do something shameless? Did some 1,000-year-old female elder take a fancy to you?" Lin Xuan was at a loss. As expected of my father. What a perfect guess. Seeing Lin Xuan's appearance, Lin Fu sighed softly. I knew it." Lin Xuan wanted to feel depressed. What else does Dad know?" Lin Fu indifferently said. "But for the sake of resources, you can't sacrifice yourself to serve a bunch of rich women. Moreover, with just this body of yours, you can't handle it." Lin Xuan couldn't help but cough a few times and said, "Dad, do you think your son is that kind of person?" Lin Fu looked at his son with a scrutinizing gaze and said softly, "I think you're very much like that kind of person." Not paying any attention to his father anymore, Lin Xuan turned to Zhao Shuo and said, "Your Majesty, you also know Elder Li's great name, right?" Zhao Shuo nodded. "Of course I know. Elder Li can be compared to the world's #1 beauty. She is the person that countless male disciples admire." "No way, senior brother, you." Lin Xuan nodded. "Haha, that's right. I'm now the sole disciple of Chuhai. Peak resources are pouring down like a waterfall. In just half a year, I've advanced from Yuan Ying Central Qi to Formation Realm cultivation." Zhao Shuo was extremely emotional. "I have been in the Invincible Immortal sect for so many years. The only regret is that I cannot see Elder Li's face with my own eyes. Sigh, what a pity." Lin Fu was also very reluctant. "I was just talking nonsense, but it turned out to be true." Lin Xuan walked over and patted his father on the shoulder. "I'm not the kind of keeper you think I am. Your son is a very ambitious person, okay? Master treats me very well. Moreover, she is beautiful. Being kind to me is really good, so I will definitely not disappoint your expectations." Through the image formation, hearing these words and seeing Lin Xuan's appearance, Li Yuking's cheeks turned red. "Lin Xuan, I really didn't see wrongly about you." On the side, the two little boys also clapped their hands continuously. "That's great. The Lord is finally smiling. It seems that this matter is over." The Lord also didn't look at the wrong person. At the same time on this side, Zhao Shuo spoke up. "Okay, to celebrate senior brother's return, let's have a banquet and have a great time drinking tonight. Okay, let this old minister go. Prepare." Fang Bai, who had been standing by the side without saying anything, spoke up. "I'll do it. It's hard for you to meet each other again, so stay here and talk about old times." Lin Xuan gave her a thumbs up. "Fang Bai, you are so good. He should do. That's right, you go. By the way, tell the other soldiers that they can drink heartily tonight." But when the news was spread, a dark figure left the Nanyang Imperial camp. Not long after, at the Liang Dynasty army camp, say it again. "How is the situation over there?" The one speaking was none other than Emperor Liang. That dark figure was the spy sent by Liang into the Nanyang Dynasty. I only heard him say, "Your Majesty." That Zhao Shuo, for some reason suddenly, held a banquet for the army to drink heartily. Liang also turned his head in confusion and asked his strategist, "National Master, is this a conspiracy?" The National Master gently waved the fan in his hand and pondered. "Before absolute strength, any conspiracy is just fleeting. The Nanyang Dynasty can hold out until now only by relying on what was left before. Now we have 2 million iron cavalry. Formation Realm, cultivation 20 people. Sanming Nanyang Dynasty is just an order from His Majesty." Liang heard this and nodded slightly. "So according to the National Master, when is the best time to attack?" "Of course tonight your Majesty's iron cavalry will definitely level the entire Nanyang Dynasty." Seeing the National Master speak like that, Liang pulled out his sword and shouted loudly, Monks, listen up today. Follow me to the Nanyang camp and kill all the enemy monks first. As for the national teacher, please lead the main army behind to support us. Today, we will have to attack the entire Nanyang dynasty. At the same time, at the Nanyang dynasty camp, there was still a cheerful atmosphere. Have a drink, will you? I can't drink. I'm a man. Why say no? Come on, keep drinking, keep drinking. While drinking together, Lin Xuan's divine sense released and sensed that there were monks approaching his camp. The corner of his mouth couldn't help but curl up. Humph, you're finally here. The monks of the Nanyang dynasty were raising their cups together when they heard the sound. They looked over with their drunken eyes. Hey, what was that sound just now? Oh no, Emperor Liang led the Formation Realm cultivation monks to chase after them. Seeing the crowd looking worried and panicked, Lin Xuan stepped forward and smiled faintly. Don't worry, everyone. Everyone keep drinking. Why stop drinking because of such a small matter? Seeing Lin Xuan wanting to leave, Zhao Suo stood up and hesitantly said, But they have more than 20 Formation Realm cultivation monks. You alone are afraid. Lin Xuan waved his hand. Don't worry against these minions. I can kill them all with one hand. At this moment, a Formation Realm cultivation monk stepped forward. This old man volunteers to go to the border with young Master Lin. In the past few decades of war, the Liang dynasty has repeatedly plundered our land and harassed the people of our country. Now they dare to launch a series of attacks and invade our country. This old man does not dare to talk about loyalty and courage, but is willing to risk his life to kill the enemy and establish prestige for the country. Your Majesty, do not be discouraged. We will definitely find a way to win this battle. Yes, this old man is also willing to follow. Seeing his team's morale like that, Zhao Shuo slammed the table and shouted, All right. If you have said so, I do not want to refuse anymore. He pulled out a small knife and cut his hand, drop a few drops of blood into the wine cup, then raised his voice and shouted, I am here to wish you all a victorious return. Feng Bai beside him asked, What about me? What should I do? Lin Xuan smiled. You stay here and protect the emperor, well in case they attack. So Lin Xuan led 4 Formation Realm cultivation monks to stop the enemy. Although they didn't need to do anything, 4 people in total was just enough. One of the monks spoke up. Young master, the 4 of us can risk our lives as long as we can temporarily stop 10 people for you. This is the limit of what we can do. Lin Xuan smiled. No need. Dealing with these people doesn't require the elders to take action at all. The old man looked at Lin Xuan in confusion and asked, So what do we need to do? Lin Xuan raised his finger. Hey, you guys just need to find a safe place and wait for me to call 666. The Formation Realm cultivation monks were even more confused. What is that 6666? Not long after the two sides met, Liang, who had just arrived, sneered. Is the Nanyang dynasty out of men, sending 5 old and young sick men out to die? Lin Xuan did not reply and coldly snorted. Seeing his attitude, Liang said in a low voice, Are there only a few people like this? I advise you to save your energy. After all, we have more than 20 Formation Realm cultivation cultivators here. If you don't want to lose in an extremely unsightly manner, then... Lin Xuan waved his hand to stop them. You're thinking too much. They just came to watch the show. I alone am enough to deal with scum like you. This made Liang angry. He took out a magic weapon and said coldly, Humph, your tone is not small, is it? The magic treasure turned into a beam of light and shot straight towards Lin Xuan. Let me see how long you can be so arrogant. Lin Xuan was a bit surprised to withstand this attack. And the monks from the Nanyang dynasty also shouted loudly, Young master, be careful. Lin Xuan took out the small cauldron that his master gave him to block the attack. Seeing that his cauldron could easily block him, he started to form a picture. What's such a big formation? In the end, is the power of the magic weapon only this much? Lin Xuan was able to block his trump card. Liang's head was already covered in sweat. How could he block all my attacks? What kind of anger was that? Lin Xuan smiled faintly. You don't even know this magic weapon. It seems that the Liang dynasty is also useless, and yet you were still so bold just now. Liang became more and more scared when he saw the 2 treasures that Lin Xuan took out. Who the hell are you? Lin Xuan took out the 9 tripods of the Empress and the divine sword that his master bestowed upon him and shouted, Sorry, I forgot to introduce myself. This humble one is a disciple of the Qiu High Peak inner sect named Lin Xuan. Qiu High Peak inner sect disciple. Could it be that you are a disciple of... Before he could finish his words, Lin Xuan pulled out his sword and shouted, Heaven's grief, 7 swords.